So let's start with, what is the SA and why does it exist? All right, let me read this to you guys real quick. The source address, or SA, in the Hedron protocol is similar to the origin address, or OA, in the Hex protocol. The source address is granted a copy of all the Hedron mint bonuses if and when they occur. The owner of this address and their intentions for it are unknown and/or undisclosed. You must not have any expectations of profit from this address. Do you think that's a good comparison, Max?
Yeah, so the SA, I think there are a lot of people, they almost use them interchangeably. I know I've got confused a couple times, but yeah, SA versus OA, and then you got Hedron versus the Hex portion. So you'd say like the Hedron one, are you going to talk about that as well? Like the Hedron SA being the deployer contract that gets the WAASTA NFT stuff? Is that how you describe it?
We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll cover that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So the SA is typically, just like the OA is the largest holder in, a token. It holds down the most tokens. You could say there's a couple different reasons why. I would say off the top of my head, the main reasons are you want some sort of centralized ownership because it's great for pumping the price. And also it kind of protects your token from a nefarious whale coming in and trying to take over, right? So there's a couple good things there, and I'm sure you guys in the chat know of a bunch of other good reasons why the OA has been such a benevolent address for the Hex ecosystem. But we'll get to all the SA stuff here shortly. So let's first look at the current holdings of the SA. So first, and these numbers are from a few hours ago, so forgive me if they're a little off, but it currently owns or has in its possession 42.1 trillion tokens, which is roughly worth about $162 million at recent prices. So it's a big old bag. What else does it have? Well, just like any other true, origin address or source address, it's got daughter addresses. It's got 7 as of this recording. The only thing to really know about those 7 is they each received 100 billion Hedron at the beginning. And so far, 5 of the 7 are completely dormant. They haven't done anything. The 100 billion is just chilling there. The other 2 have strategically come in and out of the market as providing liquidity in the market for Hedron to help support it in certain areas. So without going down that whole rabbit hole, I would like to point out that as I was going through and looking at the entries and exits of the LP positions that these daughter addresses did, all but one, I should say, have been masterfully done. Like, I've never seen liquidity providing done at that level before. Like, it's pretty amazing. Any of you guys who are into LPing, and you want to look at, how like a quote unquote source address handles it, take a look at the top 2 addresses here. They're absolutely amazing. I got you still, Max. Any questions?
No, all good so far.
All right. So what is proof of benevolence? So anyone at any time can run this function with the Hedron contract and burn any amount of Hedron from existence. So essentially what I'm saying is this is coded into the Hedron contract, and it's literally coded as proof of benevolence, right? So it's a burn feature. So if you want to get tokens burnt out of existence, not just sitting in some dormant address, if you want to actually burn it out of existence, this is one method you would do that.
Before people Google, can you just define benevolence? I don't think a lot of people even know what that means.
I mean, it's kind of like not in this perspective, but just in general, it's kind of like doing favors, doing charity work, a lot of stuff that like a lot of churches and organizations do just to benefit the community is considered benevolence. In terms of crypto, when we're talking about Hex and Hedron, typically what benevolence means is it only acts to benefit the whole system, right? It doesn't do anything selfishly. Like, it doesn't try to profit from its actions. It mainly just tries to help promote a healthy ecosystem and help promote everyone holding the token, if that makes sense.
So a power player that whose main goal is to benefit the community that they're in, essentially.
Absolutely. 100%. Okay. So doing this does a couple things. So doing so would decrease supply at a moment's notice, as well as generate more ICOSA yield for the 3 staking pools. So why this is important is, like, say when we're looking at Hedron, if a bunch gets burnt, that is going to change your staker position in the pool, because your staker position is based on, how many pool points you have, or how much Hedron you have staked compared to the total supply of Hedron. So if some of that gets burnt, then that means your share goes up a little bit. But on top of that, all burnt Hedron divided by the T-share rate will be distributed to the ICOSA staking pools, right? So anytime you see the SA doing any large burns, you should pay attention, because it means that you're probably going to see a boost in yield the next day in your staking pools.
Okay.
All right, so let's look at some historical actions on what we've seen this SA do so far. So let's go back to March 3rd of 2022. This would be a week after the launch of Hedron, because we launched February 25th or 26th. So not far along after launch, we saw a burn of 991 billion Hedron tokens, which is nice. And at that point in time, you're really just thinking, it's just burning tokens and making our tokens, rarer. It's just kind of helping the ecosystem. It's bringing down the total supply. That's what we thought back then. Maybe what's happening today is connected. We'll see. And then we saw the next day, we saw another burn. 1.3 trillion tokens was burnt the next day. And then March 26th, we saw a burn of 77 billion. And then on the same day, we saw a burn of 87,000, which is very interesting. And then if we speed up all the way up till August 8th, which would have been just a few days before the launch of ICOSA, we saw a trillion tokens burnt there too.